I was in the grocery store the other day, and they were singing a song where everybody was just singing, "It's Christmas time," or something, just saying it's Christmas time over and over and over. And you know what that means? It's time to make a video for Christmas. Okay, so let's try to make kind of that snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer going around singing a song, giving a little Christmas message. So the nice thing is that snowmen are very easy to make. I'm gonna make a sphere here. Here, let me turn on the screencast keys, and hopefully they don't disappear this time. In the gonna turn on X-ray mode here, and turn on proportional editing, so I can kind of just flatten him up a little bit. He's got kind of a cool oblong look. In fact, I'm going to design him all in one object, and then I'll separate him out into the pieces I want to have animatable. That's a good looking snowman. Okay, so I'm going to select everything, hit P, separate by loose parts, and I actually want the origin for all of them to be the previous orb, so it kind of orbits around the lower bit, which means we just have to fix the head. And instead of resetting where the 3D cursor is, I'm just going to drag the head down and do it that way. So now I can parent this to that, and that to that, and select them all in shade smooth, and that's looking like a snowman. So we're going to be using some dynamic paint eventually to, well, actually, I'll just show you right now. I subdivided this plane a lot. In fact, let's do one more level. And under the physics tab here, I'm going to click dynamic paint, make it a canvas, add canvas, and say displace. And then for the base here, we're going to check dynamic paint again and make it a brush. And now if we hit play, it should, oh wait, and click add brush. If we hit play, look at that. It'll just kind of leave his little imprint as he slides around, which is very cool. If we shade smooth, that will help the look a bit too. As well as if we add like a subdivision modifier at the end. But we'll do that at the end because that'll be just distracting if it's doing that, you know, the whole time. So under the modifier, I'm just going to turn these off so we can't see it happening until the end. All right, so let's create a snow material real quick here. New, we'll just call this snow, and it's all right. It's just white. It's just white. Make sure all of these are snow too. So select all of those. Shift click on the ground. And Control L, link materials to quickly snag the material from that instead of having to set it, you know, from the pull down. Let's give him a little bowler hat. Yeah. Like a UV sphere here. Let me grab kind of, I guess, delete everything under that one that isn't hat shaped. And then I'll grab this, and let's see. Bowler hats are fairly, just kind of like that, right? Yeah, I think the brim's a little bit too big. Yeah. I'll stretch it out a little that way, and then I want to kind of pull, I think I shouldn't have had it go back in. I think that's making it look kind of dumb. But that's working okay. Now drag these back in. There we go. That's a reasonable bowler hat. Yeah. And let's turn up the edges. So I'm going to select this loop here. And under projected from view, I'm going to turn on sharp. Or I guess just sphere. And I can kind of pull it like this so I can leave the edges kind of slanted up. And that's reasonably bowler hat-ish, I suppose. Especially once you give it the right material. Here, we'll just do new dark stuff. And turn down the specular and make it dark. And you can't see it here because we're in shaded view, although we could go under viewport display and make it dark. But I'm going to be jumping over. In fact, let's just jump over into Eevee rendered view right now, just so we can see what we're working with. I think I want to flatten the top a little bit while we're here. Just change this back to smooth and turn off projected, and yeah, that's a little more bowler hat-ish. Just raise it up so it's not intersecting here. That's looking good. Okay, let's give him a vest. Go into material view, and I'm just going to. Oh, is this rotated? Why aren't these? Oh, I must have pinched it at some point. I don't know how that would have happened. Regardless, It isn't a big issue. I'm just gonna make with the knife tool, I'm gonna give him a little vest right here. Go like that, go like that. Great. And I'm gonna select all these faces here that I might want to have vested. Cool. Okay. So first I'm going to, he already has a snow material. I'm going to create a new material and just call this trim. And that'll just be, again, I guess we could just use the dark stuff because it was just going to be dark trim. Cool. And now I'm going to hit I to inset everything. Ooh, there's little jaggies in that, but that's fine. And we'll call that new plaid. And we'll assign all of this to the plaid. And the base color, we'll make an image texture, and I'm just going to load in a picture of some plaid. And that's already looking good, but here we can also go U cylinder projection, and under the UV editor here, we can just kind of tweak how it's looking a little bit, make it all nice and symmetrical, I suppose, if we want that. Maybe turn down the specular, because cloth is not specular. And let's do, what would be the easiest way be to do a bow tie? I guess maybe just couple cylinders, delete the top and the bottom, and with proportional editing we'll kind of just flop them down, squish them flat, flip it around. Uh-oh. Why can't I? Oh, okay. It'll be small, so it doesn't matter all that much. That looks kind of like a bow tie. It will go with the dark stuff. I'll stick it right here under his neck. And I think I really am gonna not want any specular on the dark stuff, and we'll just make it a little bit more gray. Okay, now we're to the tricky bit. Let's do his face. Okay, so we want to be a little smart about how we do this. I'm just gonna give him the standard nose here. I can just duplicate his whole head. It's gonna be a big nose. Okay. And let's see. I'm gonna create give him some eyes here. They will of course be dark stuff because they're two eyes made out of coal. Is the stop motion Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer an international tradition? I grew up with it, but maybe it's kind of weird. Okay, that's good. Now his mouth. I'm gonna create a plane here, and let's just give him a little. I'm gonna model it right here. Let's give him a little goatee type situation. Yeah, and I'll select all of 3 of these, and Alt-E extrude individual faces. And kind of give him that Thanos goatee going on. There we go. And we'll do the same thing up above for his mustache. Oh. Ah! Alt-E extrude edges. Oh, it's because I've probably extruded multiple times at this point. So I was thinking ahead and I lost the moment. I was like, how do we give him those kind of, that curly mustache thing that I think So Burl Ives is the guy who sang this song originally, and one time, very weirdly, I got off the ferry, and I was driving by this mansion where there was an estate sale, and we walk in, and there's all these large oil portraits of this old man, and we were like, who is this man? Why does he have so many oil portraits? And everybody was saying, this is Burl Ives. He's dead now. You're in his house. And I was like, who is Burl Ives? He's the guy who sang Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Silver and Gold. He was the snowman in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So that's kind of weird, yeah. And then I started hearing about him everywhere, and I was like, oh, I guess this guy is like a thing. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this bit, and I'm going to extrude it up, and let's see. So these will all be snow. I'm going to create a new slot here, and select these, and make them the dark stuff. Assign, and here, let's see. I'll select the mustache, P, separate by selection, so now we can just animate this bit and he'll be talking a little bit. Shrink him down, and let's see how this works here. Yeah, it's kind of intersecting. Maybe I'm gonna parent. I'm gonna select the hat, the eyes, and his face. Click on his head, parent them all to the face, and then I'm gonna just slide his head kind of forwards. Maybe I can even shrink these a little bit. Yeah, so now he can. Oh, okay. We gotta slide it forward so it's not intersecting his. That's good. Okay, and I'm gonna select this bit and P by selection. Give him some nice snowman eyebrows. So actually, they can both probably be the same object. Definitely want to animate his eyebrows, but I'm not trying to go for a great animation here. Okay. And let's see, what sky do we want? We probably just want like a little light blue sky. In the Rudolph one, it's actually green, which is weird. Go check if you don't believe me. Let's grab the camera, start setting up a shot. Let's see. I think I want a point light. That's like 200. Let's see how that looks rendered. Oh, that's not very bright at all. Let's try 1,500. That's better. I kind of want to keep that miniature studio feeling, which means maybe... Alright, so this is going to be our... Suddenly, I can only think of the word displacement map. Our dynamic paint ground. But let's get some hills in the background here. Going to rotate 90 degrees here. And add a bunch of edge loops. And with proportional editing turned on, I'm just going to create some dumb little hills, you know. Cool. Add another layer right here. Turn on connected only. And let's see how this works in the back. It feels fun to do this sort of stuff after so long of, like, I don't know, working so hard on everything. I want these to be brighter. Maybe I could make them a little bit emissive. I think also just this light needs to be a little brighter. Maybe we add 2 lights, you know? 2,000. Cool. That's looking good. Oh, gonna save. Definitely gonna save. Saving the snowman. Okay. And under the render properties, let's just turn on everything. Yeah, and we'll turn up the distance for the ambient occlusion. Kind of help give us that segmented look. Turn off viewport denoising. This is looking good. I want to get some of those like construction paper trees though. So let's see if we can kind of do that with just like a cylinder. Ooh, I think I actually want more edges. So under here, well, let's add 100. Whoa, and for some reason that brought back everything else. Gonna delete the top and the bottom here. In fact, I don't know the best way to do this. I'm gonna turn on proportional editing, and I'm just gonna pull down kind of little bits. Make it kind of have that weird, I don't know. No trees do this. Construction paper trees do this. Looks like a drippy candle. Select this top loop here. Shrink it up. And that, yeah, that could be a tree. Sure. Duplicate it, rotate it, duplicate it, rotate it, duplicate it, rotate it. And then I'm gonna grab this top loop, turn on proportional editing, turn off connected, because I just want it to kind of like, the closer to the top it gets, the more stretched it is, and then the bottom stuff will be kind of flatter like that. It'll work fine. Okay, so this is gonna be, you know, obviously turn down the specular, make it kind of green, evergreen, and under render, yeah, that looks fine. Maybe I'll duplicate it. Oh, scale it down, kind of raise it up a little bit, and rotate it, and we'll see if maybe this will work for if we create a new slot and make it snow. Assign. Top stuff kind of looks a little bit weird, but I don't like it, but we'll use it. Uh-oh, it's in him. The tree was within you all along, Mr. Santa Man. Santa Man. You guys should go back and watch my videos from the summer and see how much more vivacious I am. There's a record now, because I go back and I watch my winter videos, and it's like, yeah, that's about how I feel. I'm just like, words are all wrong, and it's like everything's just a little bit harder because it's just dark. I don't like it. Okay, let's put these ones back here in the hills. Oh yeah! Alright, so this is our dynamic paint one, but I'm also going to create another one, scale it up, and turn off the dynamic paint for it so that we can just have a nice big ground plane. And ideally we'll just never see under this edge. I can select, like, I guess I could just select these edges and extrude them out so that it's not adding a bunch of new data, but it's also still, yeah, there we go. So I gotta do that a little. Yeah! Alright. So, now, the animation. Saving it again, and let's go into video editing, and we're just gonna load in an audio track. So, Shift A for add sound, and let's grab our Christmas mix. I'm gonna give myself like maybe like a second of headway here, maybe a second and a half, because we're gonna be animating it all in real time. So we'll see how this goes. First thing, let's see, make sure everything's parented. No, we'll parent the bow tie to the body, and let's create some limits maybe for this mouth. Can we do that? I haven't really tried doing that. No, we won't. We'll just hope it works. And I feel like maybe I should make these face bits a little bit darker. Let's make a snow variant. Darker snow. And I'm just gonna darken it just a tad to see if maybe that kind of helps it pop. Snow, darker snow. Snow, darker snow. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so I'm gonna have him start way in the back here. And, yeah, I'm gonna make this tree small. I want him to kind of come up this way, do an orbit, and come back. Because, yes, it is a song. Okay, so to animate him sliding around here, effectively what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit play. It's gonna play the audio, and everything I do is gonna be recorded because I'm gonna have auto keyframes turned on. And if you, have auto keyframes turn on, play, and animate, it'll save all the keyframes that you did, which a lot of times is a nightmare, but in this case is exactly what we want. So I'm gonna do that, but I'm also gonna hit Shift Z, which means he's gonna slide around on the X and Y axis with the Z axis excluded. So that's a nice way to kind of keep him constrained to the ground plane. Okay, so here we go. Shift, uh-oh, messed up. Z, rendered, yes. Oh, and we also want to go to, AV sync. Yes, just make sure it all stays in sync. So play, Shift Z, Shift, oh, okay. Play G, Shift Z. Christmas time is the best time. Christmas time is the best time. Christmas time is the best time. Whoa! Oh, okay. That's my bad. It started over because I did not change the length. So you guys like my dorky song? Trust me, it gets better. Okay, so bring him back to the back. Delete that keyframe just in case. Play G, Shift Z. Christmas time is the best time. Christmas time is the best time. Christmas time is the best time to say it's Christmas time. Christmas time is the best time to sing. Christmas time is the best time to sing. Christmas time is the
can try to say in July, but baby, they'll say you're crazy. They'll say no, 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 no. It's not Christmas time. Christmas time is the best time. Christmas time is the best time. Christmas time is the best time. The best time for Christmas. For Christmas.
And now I stop it because it will start recording over the beginning, which can be a nightmare. I write songs like my dad. My dad used to write silly little songs. And the 13-year-olds say I'm cringe. 13-year-olds, you don't know what cringe is. You don't have a context for cringe. You're 13. No, I'm not downplaying 13-year-olds like that. Just don't call me cringe. Because sometimes the best stuff happens on the edge of cringe. And you know it. Sometimes you gotta have some Christmas sincerity. Okay.
Christmas time.
That is not what this is. This is Christmas passive aggression. This is Christmas recursion. Okay, so if we select both the body and the head and set these to individual origins, we'll be rotating both at once, which is kind of a nice, quick, naturalistic way to do this. So if you hit R once, it rotates around kind of the camera's axis, but if you hit R twice, you get this trackball thing. So I'm just going to try to do this and animate all the way through like that. And I might not make you watch the entire thing again. Yeah, let's see how it goes. RR. Okay. All right, so we've got that.
Time to sing. Christmas time is the best time.
I'm going to point out that if you go into the graph editor and select all these points and hit Alt-O, it smooths them all out.
That it's Christmas time.
And makes it look a little bit more
You can try.
intentional, which I dig. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing with the mouth. I'm going to go to the beginning, hit G, Y, Y, which will constrain it just to this one mouth axis. And I'm going to hold down Shift the whole time just to give me a little bit more finer control. And let's see. Yeah, in fact, I might bring these up to give me a little more mouth space because it hides right there in his nose real good. So let's delete that and let's give it a shot. Okay, eyebrows, exact same thing. Okay, I do want his eyebrows to get angry when they sing no, 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 no. So, we're gonna add some shape keys. Under the object data properties, we create our base shape key, and then we're gonna add a new one, and this will be angry eyes. I'm just gonna select this and rotate it down. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's angry now. And so now we have a slider that just can become angry. So.
This time is the best time to sing. I'll say oh no.
Okay, so we'll add a keyframe here, and then when they start singing no, we'll turn it up to 1.
No, 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 no. It's not Christmas time.
Okay, and now we add a keyframe, and he goes back to normal.
Christmas time is the best time. Christmas time is the best
Okay,
time.
so
Christmas
we've
time.
now created our little animated guy, and if we turn on our dynamic paint, we'll be able to see ideally that he is
Christmas time is the
creating
best
a little
time.
trough.
Christmas time is the best time.
Yes!
Christmas time is the best time to say it's Christmas time. Christmas time is the best time to sing.
The ambient occlusion is creating some,
Christmas time is the best time to sing. Christmas.
we probably could use more, samples.
Time is the best time to sing that it's Christmas.
And I think if we lowered our lighting or something, we could show off the troughs a little better. Not that that's our point. I'll also turn off these auto keyframes, because that will mess us up. Okay, so now, I'm just gonna add a little camera motion. I want to keep it kind of as if it's on a dolly, like they would have, you know, kind of a little bit old school. Turn on auto keyframing here. Maybe zoom in a little bit, and I'm gonna set the. I'm gonna turn on depth of field. Select his little head, and turn down the f-stop. And we'll tweak that later, but that should just keep it, you know, nice. Okay, so he's coming out of the trees. In fact, we'll start like this. Here, I'll turn off this auto keyframing. I want him to kind of come out of a forest. Okay, so we start over here. And by the time he gets up to the front, we'll kind of be here. We'll rotate to look at him. And let's actually hit V vector, so we start at full speed.
Christmas time is the best time.
That's good. I don't want to see him until he's singing, so we'll add one more tree right here. Good. Delete those keyframes.
Christmas time is the best time.
Alright, now I'm just going to animate the camera kind of like tracking around, following him as he goes. And I don't need to use a lot of keyframes to do this. Woo!
Oh, it's not Christmas time. Christmas time is the
Alright, and he ends up like this. I want to get nice and close to him for the finale.
for Christmas. For Christmas.
Okay. Looks like it's kind of not focusing on his head, but it probably is. Maybe it's focusing on his hat. I think it's just the front of his face is not in focus. I should make it focus on his nose. Alright, I'll add a little empty right on his nose, because that's the part we really want. I guess technically it's the eyes, but... Okay, we'll parent that to his head. Make sure it works from a different axis. No, it's over here. And instead of focusing on the ball, we will make it focus on the empty. There we go.
Christmas time is the best time.
And that's basically it. Oh, and also gonna do one more pass where I make him blink a little bit, just to add that final bit of life. Oh yeah, and I did one other thing which is very silly and a little bit hackish, but a lot of times in animation they'll only animate every other frame to say, they'll do like 12 frames per second instead of 24 frames per second to save money, and occasionally they'll keep the camera movement at 24 frames per second to give that kind of still keep things smooth, but they'll only reanimate the character, you know, every other frame. And it's pretty easy to hackishly do that in Blender. I'm gonna select everything but the camera here. I'm gonna grab all of these keyframes. And I'm going to make sure nearest frame is enabled, so everything will just be snapping to a frame. I'm going to put the cursor at the very beginning, change the pivot point to the 2D cursor, and I'm just going to hit SX to scale it on the x-axis, 0.5, and that's going to scale everything down to half the length it was. Now I'm going to hit SX2 to scale it to twice as long, but in doing so, we've eliminated half of the keyframes, and now we're stretching it back out. So that there's only a keyframe every other frame. Can you see that? This is a little weird. And then, but it's still interpolating. If you look at it, it just has half the resolution. So I'm gonna hit, what is it, T? Yes, and change the interpolation to constant. And it gives it this stair step look. And so now he's moving around kind of with this kind of jitter, which I think, I don't know, it kind of works. Maybe a fun trick for something. But yeah, here's the final.
Christmas time's the best time. Christmas time's the best time. Christmas time's the best time to say it's Christmas time. Christmas time's the best time to sing. Christmas time's the best time to sing. Christmas time's the best time to sing that it's Christmas time. You can try to say it in July, but baby they'll say you're crazy. They'll say no, 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 no. It's not Christmas time. Christmas time is the best time. Christmas time is the best time. Christmas time is the best time. The best time for Christmas. For Christmas.